This is today's project. We're getting some much needed rain right at the moment, and we won't have to worry about cutting any wheat. So what we have to do is we have to change this Funk drive coupler assembly that comes off the back of this engine to drive these hydrostatic motors here. We've got something going on with it where we have to change the oil on it every couple of days because the damn thing gets so damn hot. And what it does is it breaks the gear oil down, and the thing just gets real hot. So we're going to change that out. We're going to go ahead and drain the oil out of the hydraulic oil out of the whole system, because we do have to break a couple of these lines to get these different pumps off of there. And once we get those three removed, then we can pull that Funk drive off the actual bell housing of the engine. So we haven't done this before, and we're going to learn how to do it right now. So we've got the diaphragm pump that we're going to use to suck the oil out of the hydraulic reservoir, which is on this other side here. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time, I think. I think this is going to be real fun. A new one was $5,000. We'll send this out, have it rebuilt. What they're thinking is maybe that there's a bearing gone inside it, and the bearing is just heating up the oil and breaking the oil down. We change the oil and it goes good for a couple of days, and then it gets real hot again. That thing works like a big vacuum cleaner. It's actually what they use to suck calcium out of tires. That changed, everything's hooked, correct? It is hooked. Well, we've got that one unit off. Now we got to remove these two here. And then once we get them off, then we can pull that Funk drive off in there. Somewhere I hope we find a bearing gone. That top bearing looks okay though, so yeah. We were hoping to maybe just drop this out and drop it down in this cavity here, and then the same with that one, just kind of drop it off to the side, but I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do there, if we have to remove these completely or not. There's a couple of hoses, if we leave it on there, that'll be able to just stay there. we do this, Jay? Let's take that hose right off. Bam! Well, we have the final piece of the puzzle left to remove here. Them bolts that went around that rear structure of the engine were a real pain in the butt to get out of there. There's a couple of them that are just an absolute bear to get to. There's two like right here, and then there's two over on that other side. This would match like a motor mount on a truck frame or something. But we left one bolt in there to kind of hold it up in place. Jay is removing that now, and then we can just kind of pull it back onto the forks. Grab the new one and put that one on there. I'm hoping we see something wrong inside this thing, because we really don't know at this point what was causing the oil to break down and then this thing to get so hot that it actually melted some of this yellow protective coating. You can see some of it right here. It's melted. There was one piece melted there. And this thing almost caught on fire. Well, we've got this removed. Now we're gonna get this out of the way, put some more floor dry down, and then we'll get the new one in there. But you can see how hot this got. It just burned this plastic coating off of these hoses. And it was up over 300 degrees. So we're lucky it didn't get into the hydraulic hoses. One right here. So this plastic stuff kind of saved the machine, really. So, all right, J-balls, we'll get this one out of the way and bring that other one over. Well, we've got this new one ready to go on there. This plate here, they sent a new one. This is just bolted to the back side of the flywheel. It's where you would bolt on your clutch or your torque converter on any other engine. We got the old one over there on the floor. That just enables you to run this stub shaft in there, and that's what's going to drive this actual gearbox. This works a lot like a planetary. We've got the one cover removed off of the top portion of it, and we can just turn this very easily to get it to line up to that shaft there. We'll push it on, and then we'll get our bolts all put in, and then we can start bolting on the pumps. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on there and get it together.
Alright, that's far as you can go right there.
fucked it.
Yeah. Not be ready to go.
Hey, I don't know. Might be able to hold that back. Well, we've come into a snafu here with putting this gearbox in. I ended up screwing up the seal, putting that gearbox assembly onto the engine. So I had to order a new seal, and that won't be here until tomorrow. So we'll have to load manure into the telehandler bucket and then load the telehandler bucket into the spreader in order to get the barns cleaned. So Jared's getting his truck back together here. He finally got a transmission for this, and we'll roll in underneath here. He's got the transfer case in. He ended up, what'd you do? Buy a used transfer case? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Bought a used transfer case from somewhere, and then he's got the transmission in. So, yeah. Some might think that that's a cat transmission, and some people might be told that that is a cat transmission, but we really can't tell you what it is. So he's got to get the drive line hooked up, and he's got a couple other things that he's doing to this truck as well. This is a 2018 3500, and it has been parked for the better part of a year here. He ended up getting this custom bumper, which looks rather nice. He put that on while he was waiting for his transmission here. Oh, I think he put this on over the winter. Now he's putting on an air box of some kind. This has had some work done to it. Some pieces and parts did fall off. Some bigger parts got reinstalled. What do you got on this? A different turbo, correct?
Yeah.
And it's got a Magnaforce air intake. Yeah. So at least I'll have this up and going. It's been parked a while. So we'll join back up with you tomorrow here when we get our parts for this thing. I kind of wanted to get this thing back together. I hate working in hydraulic oil, but it is what it is. Well, it is into the following day, and we just had a couple of seals show up here via overnight delivery. Now I screwed up the one because we put the unit on there and the shaft bumped it. I pulled this is the one I screwed up. I actually screwed it up more by just taking it out, and then I ended up popping the seal out of the old one, and we probably could have got away with using this one, but I was worried that, well, there's a lot of stuff that we have to take off of here to redo that. So we're going to go ahead and put a new seal in. We'll get that in there, get the shaft in, then put the gearbox itself onto the engine. We were trying to do it the other way around before, because the shaft went into the engine hub there, or that mechanism that's on the flywheel itself. It went into that hard. So we pushed it in with one of them dead blow hammers, and we should have not done it that way. So we need to protect this seal here. So we'll go ahead, get the seal in, and then we'll put the shaft in, the gearbox, and then push the whole unit onto the engine.
first start anyway, then if I just put my hand right on there.
Yeah, I think we'll get it.
lined
And then we
in.
can see better that way than we can this way. So, go ahead and stand this guy up. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll slide it in after we get the forks in as far as we dare get them.
Okay.
I ain't hitting that hose, am I?
I would curl back just a little, Andy. Gotta go up with that, Andy. Or tilt backwards.
All right, watch your hand.
Yep. Little more.
Hold up.
Got your flashlight on you, Andy? Then it'll be.
Alright, so we need to slide it. But it's got to go your way.
Yeah, it's gonna come my way and then up about a quarter inch or so.
Alright, so if we push it forward a little bit, or I back up, so the unit is not on the round part of the fork. I gotta go up about a half an inch. Oh, put your hand down and like pry back and we'll move it to the left. Yeah, right there. Okay, now. Yeah, hold on a second. I think it's right about there. So try to wiggle that here. There it is, it's right there.
Yeah, he's gonna come up.
All right, we magically were able to get that shaft to start. Now what we have is the flat part of this gearbox is sitting just on the very tip of the forks. So what we want to do is we want to drive in just a little bit with a forklift, and then we could start some bolts. And I know I've got probably 5 to 8 viewers that have done this job before, and they're gonna wonder why we didn't have dowel pins made long enough to go on that engine. And for those of you that haven't done this job before, you can't, if you put the dowel pin in, you're not gonna be able to get it out because there's a lip that's only about this deep between the bolt plate and the actual gearbox. So if you're looking at this ring plate on this other side's about right here. So you're not gonna get a long dowel pin out of there. So we'll bolt this together here and then we can start putting these other components on. Well, we've got this gearbox all bolted into place. The bolts, they kind of went in easier than they came out. I don't know if it's because this thing's just a little cleaner, but we're getting a suction line on there now. And then we can start bolting them gearboxes on there. Well, Tim is loading up this 318G. We ended up trading this off out to 5-Star Equipment. This old machine here has got right around 8,000 hours on it. We'll get, where are we? Come on. 8,253 hours. So we ended up trading this off for another 318G. Actually bought one that was, they had a few hours on it. It's got less than 500 hours on it. It was in their rental fleet. And we ended up swapping this in for that. So he'll get this out there and he'll be back shortly, right?
Huh?
He'll be back shortly, right? Yeah. Well, alrighty.
We're getting there, 18?
Yeah, 318G. Yeah.
Know about it?
Did you get the other sensor in?
No, that's right here. That's
Okay. All right, so this job is just about buttoned up. We've got that other pump on there. Just got to tighten up a couple more hoses and start putting in some oil. Tim has just gotten back with this skid steer. Again, this is the same model skid steer as we traded in, 318G. This one is got joystick controls on it. The other one was hand and foot. And let's see what this has. 4 hours on it. Oh, they said it had under 500, and it's got 418 hours on it. So Tim will get this unloaded, and we'll get this in. We'll get this in.
That throttle, back and forth and left and right.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go. Let's see how good of an operator you are. This one's got the weights on it. There we go. When you jump up to the next size skid steer on the John Deere's, which would be a 320, the back end of it is a little different and it's a little longer. So we like these 318s for being inside the barns because they're shorter overall and they can get turned and around the curbs and stuff like that. Looks like we've got something going on here. Something got wound around that tire at one time. AC work?
Yeah, it's nice and cool in here. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Well, alrighty.
You'll love it tomorrow.
Camso SKS 532. These will last a little longer than a regular skid steer tire, but not as long as them tires that we regularly use, which are the Hulks. What are they? A Galaxy Hulk. Them SKS, the Camso SKS, that design where it's like this, they're not any good. But 418 hours. So, yeah. Oh well. Alrighty. They're pumping some oil back in. Got to get that sensor in there, don't we, Nate? Or Jason? We got one sensor that's not in there, and it's the oil. The oil has come to the top there. You ready? Boom. There we go. Well, we've got everything on there. We all said a prayer, and we're hoping that we don't have any leaks. Hold on to yourself up there, Nate. Go forward and then backwards, so hold on. Watch that door. Alright. Come backwards a little bit. Alright. Turn the vacuum on. That worked pretty good.
So far, yep,
Yeah.
looks good.
All your praying worked, Tim.
Amen.
He prayed last night
Yeah.
when we went to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, neat. I'll pray.
This, without having this machine, they had to clean the barns this morning with the skid steers. And what they had to do is they had to push the manure into the telehandler bucket and take the telehandler over and put it in the spreader. What'd you have? You said you had 10 loads up to barn 9, 3 across the road. And you had maybe how many?
Probably the same up top. We did the same.
Yeah. And they were an extra 2 hours, 3 hours cleaning barn.
11:30.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and run this now. We just gotta check the hydraulic oil level. Yeah, that's low, Nate. So we'll have to put some more in there. Well, we'll just get this door on here, guys, and we'll roll her out.
Because you're never going to have treatment.
Well, I guess that's gonna do it for this video. It's good to go. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna work on this combine head. We're gonna put all new guards on it. So that is gonna do it for this one, folks. I want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you at the next one.
Yeah.